Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It's 16th of May 2022. So I just thought to, record a small video on the BTC update. I think BTC, it's most likely be doing irregular expanded flat. I also discussed about this, yesterday. What I'm expecting here is okay. I was looking for a nice reaction here and maybe rejection, and then further deep down to the levels of 27K. But the way it is, the structure looks like it's a clear irregular expanded flat where I would say, we may be doing running flat as here as the way we did it in the past, So I think the 29,500 to 29,200 is a very nice levels for BTC with a very tight invalidation levels of 28.8. Now, if you do sweep on the 28.8, which means that we're going to go for an irregular expanded flat, having BTC target of 27.9 and then pump it back up to the levels of $35,000. Right now, the way I'm seeing BTC, and if you even watch the charts, the previous pump that we have, and the structure looks very, very similar. Let me show you guys. It looks very identical and very similar. We played this on a 48K levels like this. We had a nice pump from the lows, like, wick and then pump. Accumulation had a nice deviation at the range highs, and then we tested the 0.236 Fibonacci levels, and then we pumped to the 1618 extension to 45,937 levels. That is your, A, B, and C. The good thing was, even on CMEs, we had a very similar kind of a structure at that point of time. Well, if you just check it out, even the CME was having a very similar structure, and it perfectly played out at that point of time. And I mentioned at that point of time as well that we are doing A, B, and C, and so the CME also had a very similar structure. Now, the only issue over here is, if you just watch it, well, I showed you the, perhaps chart. Well, the perhaps are forming or having a very similar kind of a structure on the for the BTC, like a irregular or running flat. But the CME is having a quite different structure because of the CME closed when it literally closed around 30K levels. So practically it makes sense that, CME did not went deeper than 29,300, whereas the perhaps literally went to the levels of 28,600. And hence what happens is your A was too small on the CME, whereas your B was perfectly aligned with the perhaps, and now we are doing C. So now if CME has to do it has to go to 29,500, makes sense that CME will do irregular expanded flat to 29,200 maybe, and then the perhaps literally don't sweep the lows, but it just falls here to 29,600. So perhaps right now looking more good than CME, honestly. But I will also be having confirmation based on how the CME charts react, because this is the biggest liquidity pool that we have at 29,725. So once we take these lows, and I'll see the reaction, because ideally if we do have to say that the CME is looking bullish and the CME don't go and make an irregular expanded flat, then CME needs and holds should hold the levels of 0.236, which is around, yep, which is the levels is around 29,730 perfect levels. So if that is the case, then CME needs to hold these levels, but I don't think it's gonna hold. So what I do think is, if you talk it from the perspective of irregular expanded flat, I'm looking for 1:1 extension and 1,236 extension on the CMEs, which perfectly will send aligned you to the target of 29,350 and even 29,745. So I think this is going to be very interesting on the CMEs, where I think this green box that I'm drawing is something we need to be really monitoring it. We might just go for a running flat. We might not sweep this lows. We just go to the levels of 29,500 levels, and 29,500 is perfectly fine, because it means that we go to the the perhaps might literally go a little bit down to 29,400 as well, take the liquidity, and then push up to the levels to the highs. The targets, let's say if we do bottom on the around 29,500. Let's say, and if the perhaps takes this liquidity and 29,400, or let's say 385, then your targets would be, minimum target would be 36,720, which means that CME is then going to target to take out this highs, basically to close this the gap that we have it here. And that is perfect, and that is like it's going to target. So let's say if we go small push up and then further down like this, and just in case even we lose this levels 29,350, it goes to $29,000 levels, then it would be like a very nice irregular expanded flat. And then we go up higher, push higher, reject again at 34.8 and 34.5, find support at 32,725, and then push it back up, squeeze up to the same levels, reject, come back down like this, accumulate, and one more push up to the levels of 38,000, and then start dumping further. So that's how I'm looking on the CMEs, guys. This is kind of a big 25% move. Now, if you would like to trade and support me as well, I think Bybit is a very nice platform. So yes, do trade on the Bybit using my referral link mentioned above. And also, please do like and subscribe this channel. And if you would like to trade with me and you be part of the daily live sessions and trades, do join us on the Walsh Wealth group. It's one of the biggest community that we have, and it's a very nice platform for a new joiners, for someone who is new in crypto, or as well as for beginners, as well as for the who are at the mid levels and who are literally like a professionals. Then definitely you should join. Thank you so much, guys. This is a small update on BTC from my side.